What's up, guys? Now, Brian Ortega versus Zabit Magomedsharipov is being talked about to be on the UFC 240 pay-per-view card, which is rumored to be in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And personally, I love this matchup. This is absolutely the fight to make next for Zabit and for Ortega. Zabit is rising the ranks, he's beating everybody they're putting in his path, and Ortega is in the spot at the top of the ranks where he can only really take these kind of fights now. And it's a very dangerous fight for both fighters. You know, we all know Ortega has the best BJJ in the division by far, and we know he has power in his hands. We know he's as tough as they come. He has an iron chin and iron will. And we know Zabit is a ninja-like character in the UFC where his versatility is almost endless. He has all kind of weapons on his utility belt. He has tremendous wrestling, great boxing inside or on the outside, and some of the best kicks in this division. But the thing that he surpasses everybody in is with height and range, and even his speed tops the charts with fighters like Jose Aldo, etc. Now, we all agree the matchup is great and it's going to be very exciting. But the question here is, with this fight being in talks, who is going to get a title shot against Max Holloway, who is coming off a loss at Dustin Poirier and took some damage in that fight? So don't expect Max Holloway to come back really quickly, especially to get ready for a tough cut at 145. He just had a cut to 155 and he did not look the healthiest cutting that weight. You know, he was a little bit drawn out. It's going to be especially tough for him to make 145 again, right? Going up a weight class and coming back down, this was the destruction of Roy Jones Jr.'s career, right? Now, I don't think it's going to destroy Max Holloway's 145-pound career, but it's going to make that cut a lot harder than it was before. So don't expect Holloway to come back really soon, and that leaves three options, three contenders that are in the run to get a title shot against Holloway. You have the Jose Aldo versus Alexander Volkanovski fight this weekend. You have Frankie Edgar out there calling out Holloway. He makes some sense with the things he said. They were supposed to fight many times, and it never came to fruition. And we all know that the organization likes Frankie Edgar, and they've passed him on many opportunities that he deserved a title shot. So maybe they can make it up to him this time. And now we have Brian Ortega versus Zabit Magomedsharipov. So what's going to happen here? Who's going to get Holloway? Let's go through all the options. If Jose Aldo wins, does that merit a title shot? I believe it does, even though he did lose to Max Holloway twice. He's coming off 3 wins over some of the top contenders of this division and who have rise the ranks to eventually get to that title shot. He is the gatekeeper to a title shot, right? Or the champion under the champion. He is not allowing anybody to get at Max Holloway. It's almost the mindset of, if I can't get Holloway, nobody else can. And he's doing a great job at that. So being Jeremy Stephens, Renato Moicano, and then let's say Alexander Volkanovski, I mean, in any other world, in any other timeline, that will merit a title shot. And we also cannot forget, Jose Aldo got the rematch with Max Holloway on short notice. He wasn't supposed to have that fight in the beginning. It was actually Frankie Edgar that was supposed to fight Max Holloway that night. So it's not like Jose Aldo got a title shot right off the bat, prepared for it, and then lost Holloway twice. He was doing the organization a favor, of course. So you might think they will return the favor for him. Now, if Alexander Volkanovski wins this fight, I think he deserves a title shot, 100% over anybody else. Even if Zabit beats Brian Ortega, I still think Volkanovski deserves that title shot more because beating Jose Aldo is another level than beating Brian Ortega at this stage of their careers. And he also has a win over Chad Mendes. That is a bit higher than beating someone like Jeremy Stephens for Zabit. So I do understand that a lot of people want to see Zabit against Max Holloway, maybe more than Volkanovski versus Holloway. But in a meritocracy, Volkanovski deserves a title shot. That is the most deserving out of all of these options. Frankie Edgar, personally what I believe about it, Frankie should be fighting. He should get another win under his belt. His last win was against Cub Swanson, and that was over a year ago. And if you look at the rankings today, Cub Swanson's not even a top 15 fighter anymore, after his loss to Shane Burgos. And before that, he lost to Brian Ortega by first-round knockout. I believe Edgar needs another fight. I don't think he's really in the run here, but a lot of people believe he should be. I think the theory to this is Edgar should be fighting Max Holloway first. Give time to the winner of Volkanovski versus Aldo because the winner of that might not come out completely unscathed. And Ortega versus Zabit is supposed to be in UFC 240. Now, there's no date for that. But if we look where UFC 239 and UFC 241 are, 239 is July 6th, which is Jones versus Santos. And then UFC 241 is August 17th. So you will expect UFC 240 to be at the end of July, like it usually is. So Ortega versus Zabit is not going to happen for some time now. And it gives some room for the next contender to fight Holloway. And then most likely the winner of that's going to get the next title shot, especially if Zabit wins. Which I do favor, by the way. I truly just don't think Edgar should get a title shot yet. I think he needs another win. He should get a big win under his belt. And for Ortega versus Zabit, now if Ortega beats Zabit, I still don't think he warrants a title shot yet. I think he needs another win. He is just coming off a loss to Holloway, and beating the number 6 ranked opponent isn't going to get you there yet. He needs another win. And as for Zabit, if Zabit goes and beats Ortega, he deserves a title shot after the winner of Aldo and Volkanovski get it. It's the most logical. So let's build a hypothetical time frame. Edgar should get another fight. He should fight somewhere around the summer to get things out of the way pretty quickly. And the winner of Aldo versus Volkanovski, I believe the winner of that versus Holloway should be probably on UFC 242, which is the rumored card for the return of Zabit Magomedsharipov. And I believe it'll be enough time for Holloway to get his rest. He took a lot of damage from his fight with Dustin Poirier, and he's going to have to cut down again. So it leaves a lot of room for him to recover fully and get prepared for this kind of fight, have a training camp, all that stuff. If he wants to wait till UFC 243, that's fine as well, but that card is to be headlined heavily by Whitaker versus Adesanya, right? Now, Ortega versus Zabit is going to be in UFC 240 most likely, which is going to happen at the end of July. That gives them enough time to fight the champion by the end of the year. So that's what I think should happen next. Now, if you guys want my early predictions for this fight with Ortega and Zabit, I do think Zabit should beat Ortega pretty handily, to be honest. Maybe some obstacles in the way there, some of the power of Ortega, as well as his ability to keep marching forward, his chin, his toughness. He's not going to wither under the storm that is Zabit. And this fight is going to most likely be a 3-round fight, which is going to favor Zabit too. If it's going to be in UFC 240, obviously it's not going to headline. So most likely it's going to be a 3-round fight, and Zabit has the wrestling advantage. If the fight's going to go to the ground, it's going to be up to Zabit, unless he gets dropped or something. But Zabit has a really good chin, and he has a very good ability to not get hit clean, like you saw in the Kyle Bochniak fight and even the Jeremy Stephens fight. And against Jeremy Stephens, he was facing a harder puncher, with, you can even say, overall more dangerous striking style. Ortega's a lot more hittable, very hittable. He has the record right now in the featherweight division, currently the lowest striking defense in the top 15 right now. And against the versatility, the speed, and the range of Zabit, that is going to be dangerous, man. Like I said, he's a lot to pull out from his utility belt. And if we see Ortega walk into head kicks, flying knees, and stuff that's crazy that Zabit will throw all day, I just don't see how Ortega's going to be able to handle that. Also, Ortega's not the best at covering distance. He's not the best at getting in his range. He likes to counter, which when he fought guys like Frankie Edgar, who were shorter than him, he was able to just wait for them to come in on him, and now they're playing into his game. When you saw him fight Renato Moicano as well as Max Holloway, he had a very hard time getting in range, especially against Moicano. Moicano is long, but he's not the fastest, and he was peppering Ortega all fight, and Ortega just couldn't find his range. That is going to be magnified when he fights Zabit. And against Holloway, yes, you will remember, he tagged Holloway a few times throughout the fight, but if you go back and look at it, a lot of that was happening when Holloway was covering distance, and Ortega was kind of relying on his chin, right? He would take a shot and then counter back. That's not going to happen with Zabit, because Holloway and Ortega have a very similar reach. Zabit has a 73-inch reach while being 6'1", and he throws a lot of head kicks. It's a very, very dangerous fight for Ortega, man. I do believe this is actually one of the easier fights for Zabit in this division, because where Ortega really thrives is on the ground, and he doesn't have his means of getting it to the ground, especially facing someone like Zabit, the wrestling that he has, the sambo skills that he has. It's going to be tough. In the clinch, from a distance, shooting in, ankle picking, any of that is just not going to be too effective against Zabit. So yeah, just interesting fight that's in the works here. It really throws a lot of interest and anticipation on who's going to get a title shot next. I can't wait to see who they're actually going to go to, because the UFC could be very unorthodox. Leave a comment below what you guys think about this whole thing. What do you guys think about the fight, and who do you guys think should get the title shot next? And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will most likely be the Raymond Daniels breakdown.